Hey, Laura, how are you? Welcome to the show. Are you still here? Happy Sunday back to you. Looks like we're going to stay on for a second. All right. As I said earlier, we may have connection issues because of the weather. It's kind of dark and stormy out. It's a dark and stormy night. It may be that we have issues staying online, but that's all right. I'll be here anyway. I'll keep trying. Can't keep a good man down, weather notwithstanding. So cross your fingers and hope for the best, and we'll get on this trail. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jake Johnson. I'll be with you for the hour. You're watching Untethered Live, Bible study, the deep end. Take my hand as we go off the edge together into the wild unknown, into the abysmal vortex of knowledge, into the deep of the deep, into the abyss, the abuso, the crevice beneath, and back up and see if we can't learn some stuff. That's what we're here for. We're here to read the Bible, make understandings, book, chapter, verse, explanation, understanding. That's how it works. That's what we do here. No Bible thumping, no judgment. You know how it goes. No religiosity, just text and understanding what it means, why we're supposed to understand these things. Why do we even need it? Why is it here? Why has it worked for the last 1,000 years and beyond? Why does it matter? It matters because these are the foundations on which all other foundations are based on. That's why. This is literally the first book that we can find in antiquity. There's nothing before it. Nothing. All other literature, all literature is based on this book. To consider that to be ancient chicken bones scratching on animal skins, and these people are dumb. They're cavemen. They didn't know what they were talking about. Have you looked at some of the stuff they produced? I can tell you for 100% certainty, they know what they're talking about. And for 30 years, I have been deep in study of this book, this particular book, this one. Many other books I have, but this one, I've yet to find a mistake. I've yet to find a thing that could not be proven, with the exception of the things that can't be proven, like the fact that there's a God. Obviously, I can't prove that. But if the Bible says that there's a place there, and then you go there and look, you'll find that thing there, just like it described it. Although it was written about 2,000 years ago, it's still there. Everything, every word. I've not found one thing, not even an exaggeration. This is the way it was. That's worth looking into, if you ask me. It's worth understanding why the people that wrote this down thought it was so important that we keep remembering it. Because they figured some stuff out that we hadn't figured out yet. That's a powerful statement there. The people in antiquity figured things out that we've yet to understand in the world we live in. Way ahead of them. We're supposed to be the enlightened ones. We're supposed to be the advanced culture. Yet they knew things we will never know. They understood concepts that we'll never grasp, ever. It's worth looking into. It's worth understanding where their minds were, why they thought the way they thought, why they followed the rules they followed, why they thought it was important, and what they did wrong, what caused their calamities, what caused them to fall into disarray. Why did they think that belief in a God was supreme in their understanding? Probably because they had reason to. Well, let's get into it and see if we can't figure out what the reason is. And see if you agree with it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not just going to accept it wholesale. You're going to have to fight for it. Because I believe what I believe. I put it to the test. I don't just take it I don't believe what I believe because my mama believed it or because I was raised in a church that believed it. Or, as a matter of fact, I avoided all that. I believe what I believe because I've tested it in my life and I've come to the conclusion that this is correct. So I believe it. If you can prove me wrong, if you can show me the error of my ways, I will listen. I am open-minded, not so open-minded that my brain falls out, but I am open-minded. I will pay attention to what you have to say, and if you've got some argument, I'll consider it. If you don't, though, you better listen to what I'm telling you, because what I'm telling you I've found to be right. And that's pretty important in the world we live in today, with everything going crazy as it's going. People doing all the things they're doing. We're living in a country that is basically forsaken God wholesale and expect us to live accordingly. There's a problem with that, though. You can't live accordingly without God. Why? Because we're people and we're designed to make mistakes. And the only thing that'll keep us on the straight and narrow is a straight and narrow to be kept on. And if you eliminate that, it's open season for the whole world. It's not a very smart move if you ask me. Hey, whoever's watching, welcome to the show. I'm just chit-chatting, waiting for somebody to show up and say hello. Hey, there's my April. Hey, Jake, Aunt Laura. Love, hugs, and kisses. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm doing fine. I think Laura dipped in and dipped out, and I'm not sure. She hadn't said anything. She might be back, though. I think she left that message before I came online, which I did not know was possible, but now I do. How are you doing? More importantly, how are you? How are things? Stuff and things. CJ is here and he says hello. Hello, CJ from the internet. How are you, young man? Growing, I hope. Getting big and strong and not listening to a word your mama says. Or your grandma. Or your aunts or your uncles or your cousins. Just don't listen to anybody. Just do what you do. Do your thing. And demand Pop-Tarts. Look at me playing with my beard, trying to get it where it looks symmetrical on camera. I must have laid on it wrong. It's kind of flat right there. You see that? He's getting big fast. He's a good boy. That's good. Good to be a good boy. I was not a good boy. I was rambunctious, hell on wheels. And now look at me. How are you and Kev doing tonight? Got anything special planned? Are you getting into any trouble? Says the smoking preacher. Sunday night and it's raining like cats and dogs outside. It's real cloudy out there, real overcast. May not be online all night. Maybe like last week where I got cut off, but I'm gonna do my best. How about that? We're getting very close to the internet being cut back on here at the studio, and we'll be back in studio very soon. Thanks to our benefactors. Much appreciated, graciously accepted. Had a fairly good show this weekend. Next weekend's going to be a pain in my tail because I got to go all the way to Durham, North Carolina, which means at some point at one end or the other, I got to spend the night. I don't like doing that because I'm a homeboy. But it might be nice to get in a motel and have a little fun. We'll see. April says, I made a strawberry cake. It was in a glass pan. Whenever we took it out, I already know where this is going. Whenever we took it out, Kevin took it out and we put it on the stove glass, shattered everywhere. So I just got done cleaning the glass up. Yes, word to the wise, when cooking in Pyrex glass containers. When you take the glass out of the oven, put it on a towel. Do not put it on the eye of the stove or any metal surface or any cold surface whatsoever. Put it on a towel because it will shatter, thus ruining your meth that you were cooking in the oven or whatever it is you're doing. Hey, my buddy Kevin made it. Hello. Hey, Kev. What's up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. My brother from another mother. Welcome to the show. I'm here just getting it done. Duh. That's right. Put it on a towel. Don't forget. I've made this mistake, as you can tell by my flagrant response. Just shattering Pyrex. Yes, yes. Put it on a towel. Don't put it on the eye of a stove. It will shatter. Cold meets hot, makes glass break. The best thing to do is to leave it in the oven until it cools off, but that'll overcook whatever it is you're cooking. If you got to take it out, put it on a towel and hope for the best. It's a wonder those things don't come with instructions, because Pyrex is not supposed to shatter under heat. That's why it's Pyrex, but it does. Yep, that's what I usually do, but I didn't. I had one, a black one, but I couldn't find my other pot holder, so that's why it happened. Yepers. Calamity at the Cox house. I do say that I love it when a plan comes together, but when you're making strange things in the oven and you don't know what you're doing, you break your Pyrex dishes. And you can't consume what it is you were making because there's little bits of glass all in it. So then you have to get creative. It's probably not a good move. Best thing to do is throw it out and start over. So, how's the rest of your life going? You guys had a good week? I hope. Yep. Well, I've had a fairly good week myself. Managed to get some things done that were much, much, much needed. Things were stressing me out, making my hair turn white. Got that taken care of. Working on the rest of it. What are you doing deleting messages? Don't delete messages. Don't whisper around me. And I'm halfway there. I got to get a new pan and cake mix. LOL. Yep. Yes, you do. And this time, put it on a towel when you take it out of the oven. Boy, not causing too much trouble. I didn't mean it all. It was. Yup. I know. I read it. So, as I was saying, I got to go to Durham next weekend. It's going to be a fun trip. Got to get my little duckies in a row this week, get everything loaded up in the trailer, head out, and I'll try to take some footage of the show so you guys will get some motorcycle action, get to see what's up. My life Get to watch a day in the life of. It's fun, fun, fun. Things I get to do for a living are just amazing. I mean, I'm a talking head professionally. I like it. Makes me feel good. Like I'm doing something. What say you? I don't like my camera angle there. It's kind of wicked. Kind of crooked. But then again, I'm crooked, so it works. All right. I got to my show on Friday night. As I was leaving the house, I've got this old hollow body guitar that I just started. Sorry. Somebody is calling me while I'm on live. Apologize for that. Moving along. So anyway, I've got this hollow body that I've been working on. And I just last minute decided to bring it. I was going to take it to the show. Still trying to call me. Stop it. I'm on the internet. Go away. So the last minute, I decided to take this guitar with me. And I got to the show, and as we're unloading the van, I pull out all the guitars, and my guitar is not in the van. No guitar. My workhorse, my axe, thing I play, not in the van. There's a case that looks just like it, but it's a bass case. It's got a bass guitar in it. I don't play bass guitar. Thank God I brought that hollow body with me, because I would have been up there in a strange town with no tools to do my job. Because the person that loaded the van neglected to put my instrument in with it. So, thank God that he caused me to want to bring that guitar, because I typically do not bring a second guitar with me when I go play. Unless I have a van and then it's in the van. But at this particular juncture, everything I do is in somebody else's van. So they have my equipment in two different places. Hey, Diego, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. We're chit-chatting about my weekend before we get started. Anyway, it was quite embarrassing for them to have not loaded up my instrument, because I'm like the lead guitar player. How did your shows go? They went well. Thank you, sir. Thanks for asking. Had a good show Friday night. And next weekend, I'm going to Durham, North Carolina with the motorcycle rally. So we're going to get some footage there and put that up. Let you guys see what a day in my life is like. You'll like it. I think so. Lots of things to see at a motorcycle rally. That's great to know, Jake. Thank you, sir. When will you go to Europe? I won't. Maybe later in life. I probably won't. I'll probably die before I ever get to Europe. But it's a nice thought. I go there often on the internet. I see all kinds of things, but it's not the same as seeing it in person. Some things, pictures just don't do justice. The gravitas, the size of something, can't really see in a picture. But that's what happens when you're poor. And my eyebrows are just not wanting to work right tonight. You have European ancestry, don't you? No, sir. I have Irish ancestry. I guess that's European. But I'm mostly Native American. I have a little bit of Irish in me. The rest of me is Native American. I have a little Spanish ancestry in me, I guess. I would imagine. Spanish or Puerto Rican or somewhere in that region of the world. You got pretty dark skin, so I would imagine further in that area. But we're all mutts, all of us. I don't think any of us are pure-blooded. Not anymore. Not after 4,000 years of inbreeding. Kind of hard to stay pure. My family name is Allen. That is a pretty big name in Ireland. I don't know that we're connected to those Allens. Might be. I don't know. I don't have any way of finding out. But most of my ancestry comes from around Georgia, around that area. I'm what they call a Cree Indian. Cree is a nation of mixed breed Indians that kind of broke off from other Indians like this, you know, Cherokee and the Sioux, I think. Different Indians interbred and they didn't belong to either tribe, so they made their own tribe, kind of like trailer park people. I'm a trailer park Indian. And then during the Civil War, they got all moved to Alabama, and then they got moved from there to Oklahoma. So who knows? That's as much as I know about my heritage. Other than that, I'm just a dude that grew up in the South. A little bit of Georgia, a little bit of Florida, and a very little bit of North Carolina. And that's who I am. Where were you born, Diego? I know you say you have Spanish ancestry, but where were you actually born at? Where were you raised? No. Come on, tell me. Hello, welcome to the show, new people. We're about ready to get started in just a minute. It's 8:23. About 2 more minutes and we'll get going. Glad you all can make it out tonight. It's going to be a good read. We're in the book of Daniel. Chapter 9, verse 15. That's where we left off last week. That's where we're going to pick up tonight and see what's going on in the great world of Daniel. A very, very prophetic book, very deep in its meanings and its double entendres. Things that are said in this book have ultimate meanings, alternate meanings. It means the thing they're talking about, but it also is allegories of something that'll happen in the future or something that's happened in the past and get ready to happen again. There's a lot of that in this book, and it goes very deep. And when we go back through the Bible, we're going to spend a great deal of time on Daniel because Daniel and Revelations go hand in hand. They're basically telling the same story, but in a different way at different times. So it's very important to understand the connection between the two books because that's one of the validations of the Bible. That's one of the reasons people like me believe what it says, because there's no way to fake that. There's no possible way that men from 2 different centuries could have the same ideas about the same thing and say it the same way without having ever known of each other. It's not like this guy went to the library and picked up this guy's book and then decided to regurgitate what he said. It's not like that at all. They had no knowledge of each other's existence, and they said the same things. That's validation that what they're saying is correct. All right. Diego's not going to tell me where he was born, so I'm going to move on. I was just interested. That's safe. If you got your Bibles handy, crack them open to Daniel, an awesome book. Chapter 9, verse 15. Let's go. And now, O Lord, our God, that has brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and has gotten thee renown. This word renown means fame. It got famous. Gotten thee renown as at this day. We have sinned, we have done wickedly. Those are wise words from the man speaking. Yes, you have, and yes, you have. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from the city of Jerusalem, thy holy mountain, because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us. What he's saying here is they've given us good folks a bad reputation. Jerusalem has done some pretty nasty things, and we're taking the brunt of it. So if you would, please, God, don't punish us for what they did, even though it looks bad because we're from there. That's what they're saying. Now, therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of thy servant and his supplications, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate, for the Lord's sake. Well, yeah, you'd want him to listen. I agree. O my God, incline thine ear and hear. Open thine eyes and behold our desolations. Look at us. Look at how far down we've come. And the city which is called by thy name, that would be Jerusalem, or God with us, or in the presence of God, or something like that. For we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousness, but for thy great mercies. We're not bragging, we're just asking for mercy. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake, O my God, for thy city and thy people are called by thy name. We are your people. We've even named ourselves after you, so don't look over us. And whiles I speak and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplications before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, or the angel Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. So round about dark, when it's about time to say your prayers and eat your food and do your fancy bowing and all that, that's when Gabriel came by and touched this man. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. Can an angel do that? You bet your bottom dollar he can. So this angel Gabriel, which by the way is the voice of God. If you hear God's voice, you're hearing it through Gabriel's mouth, because God doesn't have a mouth in the way that we know it. In the burning bush, when he spoke to Moses, that was Gabriel's voice. He has the face of God. That's what that means. Could this be Daniel saying that God is speaking to him? Quite possibly, because Gabriel only comes out when it's time for God to talk, as far as I know. So this being Gabriel, that's interesting. And he's agreed, or he's come to give Daniel skill and understanding on what? We're about to find out. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore understand the matter and consider the vision. I'm going to show you something, but I'm going to tell you what it means. And I want you to think. And to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquities, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. You got 70 weeks to do all of those things. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. That's 72 weeks. Seven, 8, 9. Yeah. And the streets shall be built again, and the wall, even the troublous times, even in troublous times. In other words, no matter how bad it gets outside, no matter what's going down in the city, this is going to be done. We're going to build this city back up, and we're going to get it accomplished in 70 weeks. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince shall come and shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined. Did those things happen? Yes, they did. Christ came, he was destroyed. All of these things occurred just the way that is mentioned in his book. And that 70 weeks, by the way, is allegorious of a larger amount of time in which we would call, when Christ said all these things will be accomplished in a generation, that's what he was talking about. This same set, this parameter of 70 weeks, only it's stretched out over a larger period of time, and that's what Revelations covers. It's a little complicated, but we'll get into that later. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consumption. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. That means that the poor will get poorer, the worse will get worse. And this causing the sacrifice and oblation to cease. The reason that happened is because Jesus Christ became the sacrifice. You understand? He is the ultimate sacrifice. There's no need for sacrifice anymore because he became the one and all sacrifice. So there's no need to ever do that again. But things aren't always going to be bright and shiny. Things are going to get bad, and for some people, they're going to get worse, but only for a short period of time. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. That's Daniel. He's just got a weird name in that country for some reason. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning for 3 full weeks. It took him 3 weeks to get over the knowledge of what this angel showed him, because it's devastating, because it's ultimately the end of the world, right? What he was told, and I'll give you a basic rundown of what it was. Daniel was explained to that from the point of his life forward, this world has a set number of days left. And in the end days, there's going to be a tribulation. And that tribulation is going to last a little while. And a lot of people are going to die. And a lot of people are going to be damned. And a lot of people are going to be saved. But at the end of that tribulation will come the Antichrist. And the Antichrist will rule for a period of time. And then will come Christ and destroy all of the bad things. But for a period of time, Satan will have full run on this earth to do whatever he will, to intimidate and destroy whatever he wants to. The thing is set out and set in motion, and it has been, and we're in it right now. We are squarely in the tribulation as we speak right now. It's been going on for about 70 years or so, since 1948 when it started, I think. That's my opinion. That's a Jakeism. You can look into it and see how you think about it. That's what I say. Here we go. I eat no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all. He stank, that's what he's saying. He didn't wear any deodorant. Till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. It took me 3 weeks of stinking rank and not eating anything. I was mourning. I wanted everybody else to know it too. And in the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of a great river, which is Hiddekel, or Hiddekel, however you say that, then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, or a tree. Beryl is a kind of wood, strong, stout wood. and his face as the appearance of lightning. He was a striking dude. You look at him, you're like, whoa, look at that guy. And his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in colored polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. When he spoke, it sounded like an entire choir talking at you, or rather, the wisdom of that choir. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. Who do you think he saw? For the men that were with me saw not the vision. I'm the only guy that saw it. But a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and I saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. In other words, it scared the bejesus out of him, and he fell weak in the knees. I agree. If I saw something like that, it'd probably freak me out too. Yet I heard the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face towards the ground. Yeah, if you're in the presence of God, that's your posture. Prostrate, face down. You don't want to look at it. Trust me on that. And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. So now he's sitting like a dog, with knees and hands on the ground. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. I was sent to you, so you don't have anything to be afraid of. Stand up and face me. Don't worship me. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Hey, Darlene, how are you? Welcome to the show. We're in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12, if you want to follow along. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. From the very first day you decided to do what God wanted you to do, from the very first day that you decided to be righteous in your ways, I heard you, and I started coming then. And I'm just now arriving, but I started coming the first day you showed interest in being good. And now I'm here to tell you something. That's powerful. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me, one and first asked for my help, but I was held up. I had other things to do, but I kept you in my mind, and here I am. Maybe late, but I'm here. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days. When are the latter days? Now are the latter days. And back then, Daniel is being made to understand so that he can spread the word and teach what's coming. We're here now. But this is him understanding it 2,000 years ago, or whenever this occurred. For yet the vision is for many days. This is a big vision. It's going to take you a while to wrap your head around it because it's a lot of information. But here we go. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face towards the ground, and I became dumb. I'm not worthy to hear all that, Lord. I can't take it. I'm just a man. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want any responsibility for what's coming. Just let me put my face in the dirt and be stupid. We're not made for that, folks. Unfortunately, we have to know a thing or two in this world, and we have to come to some realizations. That's what being grown up is all about. Hey, Wandering Hippie, what's happening, my brother? Holla. Y'all go visit Wandering Hippie's site, his channel at Wandering Hippie on YouTube. Hell of a show he does. It's fantastic. Thanks for joining in with me tonight. come to listen in. Well, I'm glad you're here because we're talking some deep stuff. We're in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 17, if you want to follow along. And we keep going. For how can the servant of this, my Lord, walk with this, my Lord? I'm just a dude. How are you expecting me to walk beside this angel and understand what he knows? I can't do that. I'm just a guy. I'm not ready for all this, says Daniel. Well, guess what? He's going to get it whether he's ready for it or not. For as for me, straightway there remain no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. I am utterly flabbergasted at what's being requested of me. Then there came again and touched me one like the apprentice of a man, not God himself, but an angel in his stead. And he strengthened me. He gave me strength. And said, O man, greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto thee. Be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Okay, God, I'm going to grit my teeth and gird my loins. Go ahead and lay it on me. I guess I ain't getting out of this, so go ahead and let me know what it is we got going on here. Then he said, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? Do you know where I came from? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. Persia's going down, Greece is coming up. That happened, by the way. Been crazy, busy, but all is great. Fantastic. Being busy is a good thing. That means you're getting somewhere. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture. I'll show you what the Bible says of truth. And there is none that holdeth with me in these things. I am the truth. There's nobody on earth that knows more about it than me. So trust what I'm telling you is what he's saying. But Michael, your prince. Also, I in the first year of Darius, the Mede, or the guy from Medea, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. He wasn't by himself. The reason he succeeded, Darius being the guy that took over for Nebuchadnezzar's second son, the reason he succeeded was because I propped him up. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. He's going to cause a war because he's so wealthy, he ain't got nothing else to do. That's why. Where in Daniel? 11:3. That's where we are now. Chapter 11, verse 3. I'll give you a minute to get there. Okay, got it. All right. And a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken and shall be divided towards the 4 winds of heaven. This cannot last. This utopian idea, this idea of the one guy rules everything, it don't work. And this kingdom is going to be divided into the 4 winds. It's going to be dissolved. All the other little countries are going to wrap up little pieces of it until there's nothing left. That's what's going to happen. That's why there's no Babylon today. Understand? That place is gone. You go there now, it's desert. There's some ruins there, but that's it. And all these other countries are little towns. Mosul is close by there. I don't know exactly the geography exactly, but I know Mosul is the old town of Nineveh, right, in the Bible. So that's pretty close to that area. But basically, it's gone. There's nothing left. All right. and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled. He won't even be remembered. Posterity means that he's goes on into the future. They won't even remember him. He'll be gone. Everything's gone. For his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others beside those. So not only will his kingdom be gone, but anything close to it will be gone too. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. Now that's the way it worked in those days. In those days, marriage usually had something to do with money or property or some sort of clout, some sort of riches exchanging, making a family stronger by joining with another strong family. Two strong families make one really strong family. So that's how marriage worked in those days. And this is no different. Had nothing to do with love or, lust or anything like that. It was about your daddy and my daddy need to get together and make some business arrangements. So you and I are going to get together, and that way both our names will be in one house. It's like Game of Thrones, that's how it works. Anyway. But she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm, but she shall be given up. And they that brought her, and he that begat her, that means her and her father, and he that strengthened her in these times. So they're going to lose out. It's not going to be a profitable union. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his estate. One of her children will succeed them. So they're going to lose out. They're not going to make anything off of this deal. They're probably going to die in the process. But one of her children from this union will make the claim or become the power in that situation. Which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against him, and shall prevail. He's not only going to go in there, but he's going to win. This is good news. And shall also carry captives into Egypt, their gods. He's going to capture their gods. Now, for a country that believes in gods, this is a capital offense. Princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and gold, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. He's going to rain terror on these people for a very long time. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come and overflow and pass through. Then shall he return and be stirred up even to his fortress. Just people making people angry. We've been at war since the beginning of time. There's always a conflict. There's always somebody taking over somebody else, trying to get to the top of the mountain, and the mountain just keeps growing. That's how it goes. The king of the south shall be moved with choler, or that anger in the pit of your stomach, that choler. Something will cause him to want to move, a gut feeling, as it were. And shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. Doesn't matter how many people he brings, he's going to lose. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, but he shall not be strengthened by it. Doesn't matter how much he wins, doesn't matter how much he makes, nothing makes him happy. It's not good for his soul. War is not the answer. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army with much riches, even bigger than the one before. One right after the other. Take over, take over, take over, take over. Left, right, left, right, left, right. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Good son, bad son, good son, bad son. It just keeps going. It's just like a melting pot of the same ideas churning over and over. We're doing the same thing now, just in different ways. Now we call it left wing, right wing, left wing, right wing. See how that works? It keeps happening. It's like human nature almost, like we're designed to screw up. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. Ain't gonna make it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you riot or how many statues you knock over or how many Walgreens you set on fire and leave with all the good shoes. You're not gonna win because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Daniel really is a great book. Yes, sir, it is. And it's very allegorious of what's happening right now. And I'm telling you, that's what this guy's talking about. These are just people causing trouble. They are agent provocateurs. That's all they're doing. They're making noise. They're saber rattling and rocking the boat. It doesn't mean anything, though. They're not going to prevail. It says so right here. Many shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, the left-wing ideology, but they shall fall. It's not going to work. Sorry. Why? Because utopia is a bad idea, folks. It doesn't work. If people are given everything they require and don't have to work for it or toil for it or come up with anything for it, if everything is provided, people go crazy. They go mad. They can't stand it. They will break the system just for something unexpected to happen. What do you think Donald Trump was? You think we didn't know what he was when we voted for him? We were breaking the system just to see something different happen. That happened back then too. It's happening now. It'll happen again in the future. Utopia is a bad idea. Communism has never worked, nor will it ever work. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the difference between a godly people and a non-godly people, secular and non-secular. That's the same thing we're arguing about now. Church and state, same thing. So, South shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. It's just the end of war. Everybody's exhausted. Nobody can put up a fight because they've given all their fight. There's nothing left to fight with. So this new group comes in and just wipes them all out because they just can't put up a defense anymore. That's how war works, folks. It's nasty. It never is the solution to the problem that started it. Never. So why do it? Because we're a warring people. That's what we do. We conquer, or we get conquered. I didn't make the rules. I just report in the news. That's all. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. That's right. Money equals war. You're absolutely right. Every time civilization reaches a point where everything is provided for them, somebody blows some shit up. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do. And he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her. But she shall not stand on his side, neither before him. She will not like it one bit. She will oppose his rule over her, because that's not what she wants. Let me tell you women something. Spoiler alert, this is about to get sexist real fast. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. I'm going to tell you what's true. You women hold a key to all power. If you knew what you had and had confidence in it, you could rule the world and nobody could stop you or defeat you. Look at Cleopatra. She knew what she had, and she launched 1,000 ships with that face. If you give a man a hint, just a hint, that he might even get close to smelling it, he will bend over backwards to do anything you want him to do. That's the truth. Nobody will say it out loud, but it's the truth. If he can even get close to the idea that he might get some, you got him. He'll do whatever you want him to do. Now, take that adversely and put it the other way around, and you've got a woman here who doesn't want to be saddled up to this king. She didn't ask for this. Just like a woman can rule a man, she can also destroy him. Both ways. Because he, in his simplistic form, cares about one thing and one thing only. What can I do to get the woman? This has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. There has never been a man born that did not have the same motivation in heart. What can I do to get the woman? That's it. That's all the world matters. That's the only thing his life mounts up to wherever he goes. Even the most rich people in the world, the only thing on their mind is, did I do enough to get the woman? There you go. That's what's going to happen here. You got a woman who's been given to a man who has been the most powerful thing that has ever existed up until this point, and she ain't buying it. She thinks he's not for me. That's not my cup of tea. I'm not in love with this guy. I don't want nothing to do with this. I don't like his worldview. I'm not playing this game. Let's see how this turns out. Let's see if old Jake's right about something occasionally. Shall we? After this shall he turn his face unto the islands, and shall take many, but a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. So one of his children will stop the war he started. Without his own reproach, he shall cause it to turn upon him. Think about that for a minute. Women have all the power. They just don't know it. Or if they know it, they don't believe it. Then he shall turn his face towards the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. That's a pretty lame ending for a king, wouldn't you say? Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom, but within a few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. He probably stumbled over his own fat gut, busted his head. Whatever, he's gone. In his estate shall stand up a vile person. See how this is working? It's just progressively getting worse. To whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably to obtain the kingdom with flatteries. He's a talker. That's what he's doing. He's flattering people into his power. That's what Hitler did. Hitler was a nobody. He barely survived the war he was in. He was in jail when he first came with the idea of what he was going to do. Somehow got out of jail and ended up taking over all of Germany just by running his mouth, just by flatteries. That's what this guy did. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people. So he weasels his way in and builds him an army out of vagabonds or people that aren't normally accepted into normal society, you know, the outcasts. He builds them up into an army. He shall enter peaceably unto the fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey and the spoil, and riches. Yea, and he shall forecast his device against the strongholds, even for a time. That's a year, by the way. A time is a year. All this came from a union with a woman that didn't want to be part of that union. All this strife. This king had one thing in mind. He set up his armies to take over the lands and the islands, and he was trying to conquer, and his own children turned against him. And then the people that successively came after them followed in the same footsteps until they've got this great deception going against the king, this great divide between ways of thinking. You got the king's way of thinking and the dissenter's way of thinking. So this dissension has turned into this really big thing, so much so that none of the fathers of the people that are doing it have ever come close to the conquests that they're coming up against because of a union of a woman that didn't want to be involved. You think she raised her kids to follow that king's words? Or you think she told them, when you get big enough to hold a sword, kill that sumbitch. See where you can get then. I'm thinking she had the knowledge to push away from this king's way of thinking. She's probably an unsung hero, because without that, we probably would all be under Babylonian rule by now. Who knows? That happens several times in the Bible, by the way, where a woman did something that changed the course of the war for the good of all people. Think of Rachel. Think of many other stories. Sarah. Look into it. There's always a woman behind the change that makes everything work. When I say women have all the power, I mean it. They do. They always have. Look into it if you think I'm wrong. And then ask yourself, why is it fashionable for women, feminists, to complain about how little power they have when they hold it all? Why is that a thing? Can you answer that question? I'll tell you what. I've got a plan. I've got a little test you can do for yourself. If you're the kind of woman who has a man, see if he comes back and tells you, no, it's empty. I bet you he takes it out. Just try it. See if I'm wrong. And then complain to me about how little power you have. Anyway. I got off track there for a minute. Sorry about that. I got a piece and my mind's wandering. And after the league made with him, he shall work. I read that. Sorry. For a time. I got it. All right. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army, but he shall not stand. His bigger army will fall to the smaller army because they have passion, and he's just beset in his ways. The war machine is wore down. You know, it might be a great army, but it ain't necessarily got all the oomph that a small army with rambunctious attitude has. For they shall forecast devices against him. They come with technologies that these guys don't have. That's why they win. They're smarter. They outsmart him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both of these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, north and south. Both of them are bad. Both of them are corrupted. Left and right, same bird. Both corrupted. I know my wife's in control. Amen, hippie. You're absolutely right. She sure is. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. There's a reason expressions like that exist. Both of these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table. Two sides, same table. Speaking lies. But it shall not prosper. For yet the end shall be at the time appointed. Let me rephrase that. It doesn't matter what your particular politician does. He's lying. So is the other one. And it doesn't matter which one says what or does what. The end has already been appointed. God knows when the end is, and nobody else can cause that to happen. Global warming is not going to cause it to happen. Rogue asteroid from out of the sky is not going to cause it to happen. People switching to solar panels ain't going to cause it to happen. Running out of oil ain't going to cause it to happen. It's going to happen when it's appointed to happen. And that's the only time it's going to happen. So you can take that fear that you live in and throw it out the window, because it doesn't matter what you think or feel. The end has been appointed, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. This is the end. This is when all things end. That's the deal. You got the rest of this time to do with whatever you please, but this point right here, that's the end. That's all of it. It's over. Money does equal war, hippie. Truth, sadly. Yes, it is. It is sad. It's sad that the things we uphold to be the institutions in which we are supposed to live are the very things that are causing our downfall. That's what's sad. The rules that we have imposed on ourselves to live by, the rules by which we live, are the very things that cause us the most strife. Imagine what your life would be back like if you could just set that down like a bag of bricks and just live. That's what I'm doing. I'm pretty happy. All right. I really have to pee, so y'all stay right there. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And he's back. It didn't take long, I hope. I'm sorry about that. Had to be done. Our president is so out of it, I believe he may declare war against Canada. He probably will. Don't worry. He won't make it up to the pulpit. He will fall. Tragic. Yep. All right. See where I'm at. So we've got both sides, left and right, or north and south, both at the negotiating table, both lying through their teeth, both having causes that have no value whatsoever. BLM or rainbow clubs or all this nonsense that people are fighting over. That's what it is, nonsense. It's making you a useful idiot. If you want to know what a useful idiot is, read some Nazi propaganda stuff and learn what a useful idiot is. April, I'm having some of the pizza. Do not worry, Jake, it does not involve using Pyrex. But it doesn't matter how many lies or how many weird things, how much money they send over for lesbian basket weaving in North Korea or whatever it is they're doing. It don't matter. The end is the end, and that's the only thing that's going to be. Doesn't matter. We're going to get there regardless of what they do. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant. It's funny how money turns people against God. Isn't it? I'm a subscriber, hippie. I enjoy watching you go to the government offices. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you did that. I need to watch your show more intently, don't I? It's funny how money turns people against God. Seems to be that way. The more you get up the ladder, the closer you get to power, the less God has to do with the things you're doing. Now, when you get up to the very tippy top, there's people even higher than that are pulling the strings of the tippy top, and those people are going the other way. They're no longer worried about God. They're worried about Satan. They're following his rule book, not God's. Don't believe me? Go to Washington and just look at the monuments. Just walk around town and look at things. And when you come to realize that that town is full of false deities, you'll understand that our government is ran by somebody other than God. Don't gag. Unless, you want to. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down. So I read that, didn't I? Oh, here we are. Then he shall return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall do exploits and return to his own land. He'll destroy as much as he can and then go back home. At the time appointed he shall return and come towards the south, but it shall not be as the former time or as the latter time. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant, so shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them, for that forsake the holy covenant. People that he's going to gather together a whole bunch of people that are against God and come back with forces of great intelligence, people that delve into machineries and merchants of war, tools of war, because they came with big ships. And so he's going to come back, shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. Now, this is a very important statement here. The abomination of desolation, that's what we're talking about. This is an allegory for what's coming in the future. This is happening now, but it's a thing that's talking about what's going to happen in the future. This is like the same thing that's going to occur in Jerusalem when the abomination of desolations occurs. And what is that? I believe it's where the false deity or the Antichrist puts himself in a place he should not be, which would be in the holiest of holies of the new temple of Jerusalem, the one that is yet to be built. He's going to be there claiming to be God. That's the abomination of desolations. That's the thing that should not ever occur, and it does. And this is right before Jesus comes back, very close to the time. But for a time, this Antichrist, this false deity, is going to claim to be God. He's going to be healing people and putting on big revivals. He's going to change all the rules. He's going to make everything. He's going to bring back the sacrifice that was ended when Christ died. And he's going to claim to be God. You think, well, I would recognize the devil. I mean, I'm a good Christian. I believe in God. I follow the 10 Commandments. I think I would recognize the devil. No, you won't, because he's not going to come as a big red long handle wearing pitchfork wielding monster with horns. He's going to come like a preacher. He's going to be revivaling people to death. He's going to be preaching peace. Remember in the Bible where it says they shall cry peace, 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 but there will be no peace ever. There will never be peace. We are a warring people. That's what we do. There will never be a time, not even right up to the very end, where there's peace. Peace only comes through Christ. Man can't provide peace. Only Christ can. That's how you know it's not him. Because the whole time he's yapping about peace and holy this and I'm God that, there'll be war going on all around you. And you'll know this isn't right. This isn't what I'm waiting for. Thousands of years already in the East. Yep. And such as do wickedly against the covenant, that's the promise of God, That promise made to Abraham, by the way, and Jacob after him. Those that do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. He'll tell you you can be any gender you want to be. You can do whatever you want. You want to make a living and not work for it? Fine, we'll give you a check. Let me make you happy. Let me give you everything you don't deserve. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening right now. The flatteries have begun already. You ever see something in public and go, how was that a thing? That ain't nothing like I was taught. That's the flatteries working on the youth. Watch and see. Write it down that I said so. But the people that do know their God. This is why we're here, folks. Listen up and listen closely. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. What does that say? Does that see that everybody's going to get away with it scot-free? Nobody's got anything to worry about? No, that's not what it says. It says a qualifier. If you know your God, you will be strong. Do you know your God? Who do you serve? Do you know? Are you paying attention? Are your eyes open? Are your ears open? Are you paying attention to what's being said to you? Do you know your God? Have you spent any time trying to understand your God? Do you have a God? The war in Ukraine is not talked about much on the news. Taiwan is next. Who knows? He might declare war on Canada. You never know. Everything in the world that is to your benefit resides at the edge of a qualifier. What am I saying to you? You understand what I mean? There's always an if and then. It's like a program. You do this and this occurs, right? It's a causality, cause and effect. This does not occur unless you do this. You understand? If you know your God, then you will be strong. If you knock, then you will be answered. If you ask, then you will receive. You see? If you believe, you will have everlasting life. If is the biggest word in the English language, or in any other language for that matter, because it means there's a qualifier. And that qualifier is the most important part of the sentence. Because this, what you're going to get, does not matter unless the qualification is met. Does that ring true? Do you understand what I mean? You must meet the qualifier to receive the riches. If you go to work and do nothing, do you get a paycheck? Not very long. You might get the first one. You ain't getting much after that. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. That's what I'm doing. I understand, so I'm instructing. I don't understand it all, but I got a pretty good handle on it. So I give what I got. Every week I come on this podcast and deliver what I know to be true. And hopefully that'll be good enough to touch somebody and make them question and understand and, move on towards something that they got. This is what I've got. I am one of the ones that understand. I don't get to do the fighting. I do the teaching. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by spoil many days. That's not a good prognosis for people like me. Yet we do it. Wonder why. Do you think I'm in any illusions? You think I don't understand what's coming for me? I do. I make that decision willingly because I've been blessed with the knowledge that I've been blessed with. Why would I keep it to myself? If this is going to happen to me anyway, I might as well get it out there. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be holpen or helped with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries. Can't do that. You cannot give in to the false prophet. You cannot buy into his lies. You must stand on your own 2 feet, know what you know, believe what you believe, and follow your God. If you give in to the flatteries, that help don't come for you. But if you stand true, Jesus said, not one hair on your head will be touched if you believe. That means don't worry about it. Careful, Ukraine is a bad word here on YouTube. No truth allowed. Well, then I'm screwed because that's what I be doing. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them and to purge and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. I'll read that again because I'm pretty sure you didn't catch it. He who dwells in the place of the Most High. Hey, ATL Auditor, what's happening, brother? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show. I'll read this again because I'm pretty sure you didn't catch it when I said it the first time. I'll say it again. This time, pay attention. Because it's important. Because you hear this a lot these days. Bible, thousands of years ago, before anybody understood what was going to be happening now. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them. See what their mettle is. See what they're made of. See how much they actually know. And to purge, to get rid of the ones that don't actually know. And to make them white, even to the time of the end. I wonder why they use that word. What does that mean? To make them white. I'll leave that to your discretion. You figure it out. I know what I think it means. Because it is yet for a time appointed. In other words, the tribulation has been set. You understand? It's already happening. We're in it right now. We're in the tribulation. Not the worst part of it, but we're in it. April says, everyone don't forget to hit that like button and show some love and feed Jake. Yeah, because I'm starving to death out here. It's hard out here for a pimp. And the king shall do according to his will, his own will. And he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, lowercase g, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation or the righteous anger be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. What does that mean? That means that this false leader, this guy who's claiming to be God, sitting in the place where he ought not be, the desolation of abomination, or the abomination of desolation, in the temple, claiming to be God, speaking all manner of profanity against God Almighty, claiming he's the real God, that he's the guy with the power because he can draw down lightning from heaven or heal people because he's got a little bit of power that God gave him, by the way. His righteous indignation will be accomplished regardless of what that guy says or does. Doesn't matter. The time appointed shall be the end. Doesn't matter what he promises. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter how many people he draws to his side. The end is the end is the end. And then what's after that is judgment, folks. That's when you get cast into the lake of fire if you've done the bad thing, which is follow the false god. What is the unpardonable sin, ladies and gentlemen? There's only one. It's not suicide. It's not murder. It's not rape. It's not child molestation. No sin on planet Earth is without the possibility of forgiveness. Depends on where your heart's at. Depends on what you and God work out. It depends on how it affects the world. I'm not the judge. I can't tell you how that works. But I can tell you that there's nothing you can do that won't be forgiven or can't be forgiven, except for one thing. And that is to refuse the Holy Spirit to speak through you at the appointed time. What does that mean? Some of us, not all of us, only some of us, will be unlucky enough to be delivered before the synagogue of Satan at the end times. Some of us will be captured and taken to him to face him. And in that hour, you are to take no thought into what you're going to say, because you won't be talking. Christ will speak through you in that moment, and you can allow it and you can refuse it. However, if you refuse it, you will have committed the unpardonable sin. Now, I personally don't believe that's possible. I personally think there's not a Christian worth his salt in this world that wouldn't let God do the talking, that thinks they know more than God knows, that thinks they got something to say in all this, because this ain't even our battle. This has been going on before we were ever even conceived. But if you're one of those lucky people that get delivered up before Satan at the end times, or the synagogue of Satan, or wherever, it may be a courtroom in your local town, I don't know how it works, in that moment, you live the only sin on planet Earth that cannot be forgiven. That means you are doomed if you do that. So don't do that. I think that's far enough. We're going to stop at 11:37. That's a lot of information for one night. We'll pick up tomorrow night at 11:37. I hope, among hope, that this book has touched your heart, that it's caused you to think about some things, that it's caused you to ponder what's coming next and what's provided for you and what is expected of you. And I hope that that leads you down a rabbit hole of exploration and self-discovery. And you might learn something about yourself or about other people. Who knows? You might learn something about the state of the universe in which we live. You might uncover the key of the universe. Who knows? Won't you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when my new videos drop and when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button. It's free. It's right in front of you. It takes no effort at all. And it really does help the channel with the algorithm. It helps us get promoted to other people and get recommended. So please help us do that by hitting that like button. Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into our family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave comments down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critically. That's what I want. I want you to think critically about the world you live in. And if you dig what I'm doing and you love the Word of God and you can see the value in what I'm trying to create, and you'd like to be part of something special, you'd like to help out in some way, you can support this channel by going to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you too. We do live in a reciprocal universe. Asking, you shall receive. Knocking, the door shall be opened. Do, and you shall achieve. Give, and ye shall receive. So consider that. God notices these things. If you feel led to send your tithes, offerings, or love offerings, you can do so at paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand also. And with that, I'll take your questions and comments, criticisms, or catharses, whichever it is you have. Lay it on me. I'm ready. I love you all so much. Have a great evening. God bless you all. You ain't leaving already, are you? I shared to Facebook, 1,300 people there. Excellent. I hope that it's good. I hope it touches somebody. I have CJ and I'm trying to do multiple things, so thanks. I'm about to be driving. All right. Well, I hear you. I realize I ain't good enough to capture your attention for a whole hour, so, go do what you got to do. I understand. It's not like I need you or anything. Any questions? Did you get it all? Anything you want to talk about? You know, I'm here to enlighten or humiliate or entertain or whatever it is you need. Or nothing. We can just, chit chat until the hour runs out. I'm here not signing off till it's over, but I do. I'm just teasing you, honey. Don't listen to everything I say. Just listen to the stuff I'm serious about. You know the difference. Hope all is good for you this week. Bye, hippie. You ain't leaving me, are you, hippie? You ain't even say nothing to me except hello. Least you can do is question my logic, man. Come on. Somebody disagree with me, please. Hey, Untethered, look at an ink tree. Look at a link tree. Look at a link tree. I don't know what that is. It's amazing. Is that a thing like a tree? I'll go check it out. Great read, Jake. Thank you, Diego. A link tree. I'll look into it. Loved it. We hippie, we want more karaoke, says April. You do karaoke? Daniel is a deep book. Wondering, I'm guessing you liked bourbon. Great for reading and meditation. Wondering, Facebook. When are you doing that again? I'll sing next show. Twitter. So Linktree is a thing that puts everything together. Is that what you're saying? I'll look into it. Linktree. As soon as I'm done here, I'll look it up. I don't know anything about it, but I'll check it out. Yes, sir. Okay. I used to promote on Facebook before every show, but since I've been on my phone, I haven't been able to do that because my phone doesn't do all the things that my studio can do. But I'm getting ready to be able to get my internet cut back on, so in the next week or so that'll happen, and hopefully I'll make it through. I'm getting there, one day at a time, $1 at a time. It's been a long journey, but we're getting there. Pretty soon we'll be back to full everything. I can only do what I can do, though, but I had a lot of help. So thank you for that, those who helped me. I am grateful, and I've said special prayers, and I'm sure that special blessings are imbibed. Daniel was written sometime in the 6th century BC, says Diego. Okay. When you click Linktree, it opens all your links, makes PayPal easy. Okay, I'll check it out. It is very similar to the book of Ezekiel in its context, or content, yes, and the message. Well, it's not only very similar to Ezekiel, but it's also very similar to Revelations, and they speak about the same topics. So Ezekiel, Daniel, and Revelations are basically the same book. Not really, but you can see the connections. Basically, Daniel is being made aware of what's going to occur in Revelations. That's the understanding that he and Cruz. It took him 3 weeks to get over it once he learned it. He mourned for 3 weeks after he discovered the meaning of his visions because an angel told him what the truth was. So it's pretty severe. I love your knowledge, Diego. Oh, sure. Give Diego all the praise. Don't say nothing about the guy talked for 2 hours. I'm teasing. Diego is a smart cookie. I'm glad he's here. Same, Diego. Love. I mean, you're the most famous person in this chat, Diego. I'm jealous. And happy you're here. Well, you know how it is. How about Enoch? I read that on my channel a while ago. Really? That is a good book. And the reason Enoch was taken out of the Bible was because at a specific meeting, the Council of Nicaea, it was deemed to be creepy. A little bit weird. It goes out there a little bit. It has nothing really to do with the salvation or the, coming of Christ or the whole covenant narrative. So they took it out. But what it does do, it delves a lot into the angels and into the meanings of them and what they do. even down to their job titles and what they did on earth at that particular time. It's a very good book, and it is biblical. And it is mentioned in the Bible, so you know that it's a source that the Bible trusts. So you can read it for that. But that book, along with all the other books written by the same people who wrote the Bible, I say this. If it agrees with the Bible, good, go with it. If it disagrees with the Bible, put it on a shelf and just don't think about that part. Because the ultimate thing is the Bible is the Bible for a reason. God was infinitely wise when he put it together, and I'm sure that he could manage to take things out or edit it along the way. So if it's not in the Bible, it's not in it for a reason. I love the book of Enoch. I did not think it was weird. Well, it was. My wife and I read it together on my panel. I'll have to check that out. Yes, it's one I'll finish after I have read the Bible completely. That's a smart move. Read the Bible first and then delve into the whatchamacallit. April, one word, whatchamacallit. Well, I don't know if they like me reading or not. Nobody said anything bad about it, but then again, I don't have hundreds and hundreds of people watching me, so go figure. I'm called to do what I'm called to do, and if only 3 people watch it, then so be it. That's the people I was supposed to do it for, I suppose. All I can hope is that I make some kind of wave in their life and make them think about something, you know. Who knows why God puts people to do what they do? I love it, brother. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. I will. Till I'm done. Being my luck, the day I die, I'll become famous and go viral. That's just how it works. I'm okay with that. But that's the decision I made when God put it on me to do this. I made a commitment. Some of you were there to witness that commitment when I said it, and I meant it. I'm going to do this until I draw my last breath. That's what my life's work is going to be from now on. So here we are, doing it. By hook or by crook, I'll get her done. Me too, says April. And like everybody else, I don't know how much time I have left, but I know I got less in front of me than I do behind me. So we'll see. This might turn into a thing. It's only been 4 years. Believe it or not, we've crossed 400 episodes of this show. 400 episodes. I've been doing this 2 hours at a time. Here's to 400 more. Maybe by then I'll be up to 12 viewers. Woohoo, bravo. Okay, any questions? Going once, going twice. Let me know. I can see how into it you are. I can feel it. Just the sheer excitement of gaining the information. Hippie knows what I'm talking about. I have no questions. I understand everything. Teach me. Okay, guys, I'm driving. Jake, all love you. See you tomorrow night. God bless. I love you. See ya. I'm tired listening. I hear you, brother. I will be one of the 12. Loyalty. I hear you, Kev. I'm with you, brother. Those 12 mean everything to me. All 12 of you. 6 of you hadn't even come in yet. I'm working on it, though. All right. You guys, when you go out into the world tomorrow, take a little kindness with you. Be nice to somebody. Just go out of your way to do something nice for someone and watch it change your life. I promise you it will. It'll make everything open up. Just say yes. Be peaceable. Be loving. Be kind. And it'll alter your life, and it'll cause your inner light to shine, and then everybody around you will want a piece of that. And it'll make their lives better by proxy. So remember that. Take care of yourselves and each other. I love you true. I do. From the bottom of my heart, it's me and you. All the way through. See you tomorrow night at 8:30. Well, we'll pick up where we left off tonight and get a little bit further into this great book of Daniel. Have a great night, and thank you so much for everything. Thanks for all your blessings and your gifts. Thank you for your patronage and your confidence. It's not hard at all. You just got to keep breathing until you can't breathe anymore. Daniel and Ezekiel, just like the book of Revelations of John, have a lot of symbolism and apocalyptic messages in them. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. You're absolutely right, Diego. And that symbolic nature of those books lend towards what's happening now, just as it happened then. Lots of beasts, visions of God, and the final judgment. Yes, and that's coming, believe it or not. Coming close to a city near you, coming soon. Good night, Mama. I love you, says April. I love you, true. All right. That's it for me tonight. Anything you want to say it now. Forever hold your peace until tomorrow. A lot of content in Revelations is very similar to Ezekiel and Daniel, as you've said. You're absolutely right. April, she says she loves you too. You are absolutely right, Diego. Jake, I love talking to you about Scripture. It's beautiful. Thank you, sir. I love talking to you too. I love that you know all the little details that I don't know because I didn't pay attention to the dates and stuff. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. God's word is amazing. I love you true too, Jake. Everyone, God bless you and have a great night. Be safe out there on those roads. I'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you.